Welcome back to the show, everyone. In the last episode, we decided that we are going to go to the garden and get some answers out of the girls to figure out what exactly...
I get the feeling we're going to see some babs.
That would be nice. Steeling myself, I slip on my shoes and sneak out into the garden. Yup, this is happening. I'm finally going to learn everything. I approach the tent, its entrance securely zipped. But that won't stop me. I know how these things work. I grab hold of the zip. No hesitating here. I'll give them no time to stop me. And then in one swift motion, I unzip the tent's door. Okay, no more secrets. I want answers, and I want the... Huh?
I called it.
I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and enjoy this. Yeah. I would not have guessed the Sayaka would be wearing teal panties. Just doesn't seem to be her color.
Kenta? What in the hell do you think you're doing?
I may have made a mistake here. Apparently, past experiences have taught me nothing. My jaw drops and I find myself unable to put together any form of reply at the sight before me. Upon opening the tent, I'm greeted by the pair of them undressing in a space that looks far bigger on the inside than it does from the outside. A dizzying fragrance drifts forth from the tent and stirs my senses, rendering me more dazed than I already was before. My eyes are torn between the pair, unsure of where to settle as they flit between them. They're both so, pleasing to the eyes. While both of them are clearly embarrassed, Sayaka only seems surprised... Wait, what? Oh, Sayaka only seems surprised about the whole ordeal, but I can see Hikari practically shaking with what I can only assume is rage. This isn't fair. How was I supposed to know? They do this stuff on purpose, I swear.
Kenta!
Hikari barks, scrambling for something within their oddly spacious tent to cover herself with. Right, sorry, I was just, The right thing to do here would be to zip the tent back up and wait for them to get dressed. But all I can do is gawk, possibly making the situation much worse than it should be. Curse my natural instincts.
You popped a boner.
I sure did. I can't help but look. It's what I'm programmed to do.
Just what? Being a pervert? Because I can clearly see that.
Oh, God, I hope none of the neighbors can hear this.
They can hear everything.
Look, you've got me all wrong. I just wanted to... She cuts me off. Naturally. Of course, I was never going to be allowed to explain myself. That's just not how it works with these girls.
No more excuses. I let you off last time, but now...
With a blanket covering most of her bare body, Hikari marches toward me with a scary expression, all the while Sayaka stands by.
Maybe we should hear him out? I'm sure he wouldn't just barge in here without a good reason. Oh, he had a good reason, all right.
4 of them.
Perverted one.
No, Hikari, listen to her. I really do... She cracks her fist. Have mercy! Her fist flies, and I soon see stars as I'm left flat on my back and gazing skyward within my garden. I'm left sprawled out for a good moment before Sayaka and Hikari approach me, now fully dressed. Why does everything have to be so difficult? After explaining how I met Yuzuki the other day and what she had told me, it seems I finally convinced them to explain things. I led them to my room so we could more comfortably explain things. The tent was an option, but I have bad memories of that place now.
Haha, excuse not to draw a cell in the tent.
So I was gonna say, those should actually be good memories, too. Sayaka plops down onto my bed and excitedly looks about the room, while Hikari stands by the door, still angry about before. I said I was sorry.
So this is your room, huh? It's nice to finally be able to see it from the inside after spying on it all this time.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
They watched you check it! Surprisingly neat.
Okay, so... Are you guys gonna finally tell me what the hell is going on?
I wonder what sort of things Kenta has saved on his computer.
She really did see me jack it, didn't she? Sayaka reaches over and prods at my laptop. Guys, can we please focus here?
Oh, right, yeah.
Thank you. Sayaka sits up straight and takes on a serious expression. One that I wasn't sure she was even capable of.
We really were gonna tell you, Kenta. It wasn't something we wanted to keep a secret. We just thought we could handle things on our own before letting you in on it all. But as you've heard from that Yuzuki person, time is really running short now. Which, by the way, I still can't believe you didn't tell us about until now. Do you realize how much danger you put yourself in when you went to face her alone?
Hikari cuts in and stomps her way across to join Sayaka, fire in her eyes. See, this is why I didn't tell her anything. Look, I know, it was stupid, but it was the only way I could learn anything since you guys weren't being very helpful.
That's...
She falls silent. Guess I got her there.
He has a good point, Hikari. Don't side with him! You're supposed to be my partner!
So all I hear about is how time is running short. But why? What exactly is going to happen tomorrow?
The start of something really bad.
What, though? Enough with the cryptic stuff.
Don't yell at me, Kenta. Sheesh. Calm down, I was just getting to that.
I may have lost it a little there. I pull back from her and quiet down.
Tell me, Kenta, what do you know about your bloodline? Your ancestors?
I don't really. Wait, why is that important?
Your blood is the most important thing here. It's why we're even bothering to protect you. Hikari, don't be mean. But your blood is why we were sent. If it fell into the wrong hands, namely Yuzuki's, we'd all be in a lot of trouble.
Why my blood? What's so special about mine?
It might be a little hard to believe, but you're the descendant of a long-running line of mages, people with magical abilities.
Come again? Where on earth did they dig that up from? I think if they even came to me with that on the first day we met, I would have labeled them as crazy.
That's why we didn't tell you!
But after all I've seen, it's a bit easier to believe.
How much more does it need to be spelled out for you? You have mage blood.
Shouting it into my ear doesn't really help me process it better, you know.
I wasn't shouting.
Why wouldn't I know something like this? It seems pretty important.
Well, the world in general doesn't really know much about the existence of magic anymore. Sort of just something that got lost in the history books as technology slowly began to take over. So, most families with magic in their blood at this point don't even know about it. It's just something that lies dormant now.
Okay, so if a lot of people have this magic blood, what makes mine so special? More special than theirs, anyway.
I'm glad you asked.
Sayaka hops to her feet from the bed, taking me by surprise by her adorable face. Ah, she's so cute. This girl can't sit still for a minute, I swear.
I won't bore you with all the details, so here's the story in short.
She clears her throat as if this were a school presentation she has been practicing for.
Hundreds of years ago, back when magic was still prevalent in the world, there existed a mage with tremendous power. So much power, in fact, that she was pretty much the mage at the time. Like, friggin', in terms of supermodels, she's Kate Upton.
Yum.
Everyone looked up to her, and she was an inspiration to all. But you know what happens to people with all the power in the world, right? Their nudes get leaked.
Didn't see that one coming. She frowns and lets out a sigh. You know I had something to do with the fappening, don't you, Sayaka? I'm sorry about that. I'm a teenage boy. I had to look. I'm sorry.
They always want more power. It changes people, corrupts them. So, she soon wanted dominion over everything. Over everyone, even. All the respect that people once had for her turned to fear. She became a blight on the land. Everywhere she went, darkness followed, and spread across the land as she went about her conquest.
This is getting pretty lengthy, and
Trust me, this is the Cliff Notes version.
But I have the attention span of a goldfish. Whoa. There's a cool light post outside the window.
Oh my god.
anyway, why do I feel like I know this person she was talking about?
Are you still with me, Kenta? Stop looking at that light post. Stop looking at it.
She leans forward and raises an eyebrow as I let out a yawn.
Only story now.
Yeah, totally. I think. What does this person have to do with me?
I'm getting there, gosh. Basically, you're related to the person that had the courage to stand up to this Dark Queen and put her in her place. Hikari, why did you have to spoil things? Because if you tell the whole story, we're going to be here until the sun rises.
Hikari, fist bump.
And time is of the essence here. Aww, I was really getting into it there and everything.
Yeah, thanks, Hikari. I appreciate it. So, what? My ancestor killed this evil queen person?
If he did, we wouldn't be here having this conversation right now. No, with all the power she had, killing her was an impossibility. I wouldn't go as far as to say she was immortal, but I'm sure it's pretty close. Like, you know when stars collapse and they form black holes? Because they're so supermassive? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hikari, I don't pay attention in science class.
Oh my god. The best he could do is seal her, using the most powerful sealing magic he could muster. Which leads us back to the magical old blood pumping around inside you, Kenta.
Sealing magic, is that like the opposite of floor magic? This is all very confusing to me.
Floor magic. Essentially, he tied his fate with hers and when locking her away. A seal so powerful that it'll only unlock when one strict condition is met.
And what condition is that?
I think you should know by now.
Something to do with my blood, right?
Bingo! Her seal will only truly unlock if it comes into contact with the blood of the one who sealed her away, or by extension, any of his descendants. Well, actually not just any descendant. Has to be one who has latent magical power residing within them. Which is why your parents won't work. Also, your parents won't work because you're adopted.
So, that means...
It means your dad is safe and the shadows have no interest in him. He does have some magic in his blood, but it's not really enough to realize any abilities.
Huh. That's pretty convenient. Saka stretches. Oh, God. Really? You're gonna stretch 2 inches from me? Oh, God. Turn-ons. Sayaka stretches and lets out a tiny yawn. It must have been exhausting for her to focus on one subject so long. Don't be a dick, Kenta. But I think things are finally starting to make sense.
So, are you following so far?
Yes, I think. Basically, my blood is the key to unlocking something terrible.
Pretty much.
But then, if it's connected to my blood, why are we running out of time?
The seal will thankfully never break unless your blood is spilled. But it's been a long time since she's been imprisoned. Meaning that the seal is weakening in its effectiveness, wow, it's late. Meaning that the seal is weakening in its effectiveness with each passing day, and ever so slowly her influence has been creeping into the world.
I'm sorry, I know you're probably distracted by that light post out there. It's made of such fine iron.
Should we just tell him that it's because we think he looks like a bleeder? Kenta, your headaches?
I see. So she's almost calling out to me in a sense.
That's why the monsters have been organized as they have. And why that girl, Yuzuki. She instilled whatever power she could muster into that girl and is using her as a puppet until she's finally free herself. Not sure what lies she must have fed to that girl in order to get her to obey, but she's infected her mind. And given the current rate that her vileness has been seeping from her prison, tomorrow will be when she achieves even more influence on the world. The monsters will become more rampant than before. Yuzuki will become more powerful too. Basically, our job will be even more difficult than it already is.
That's bad, right?
No shit. Which brings us to our next order of business. When we were first assigned to watch over you, all we had to do was take care of a stray shadow or two if they suddenly decided to act on instinct. And that was easy enough. You had no idea those things even existed, and we were able to keep hidden and watch from afar. But then things started to go wrong when you saw that shadow. It really took both Hikari and I by surprise. It was like I was on a mission and completely slipped past our super vigilant watch. If I recall, wasn't that the day you insisted on getting a sandwich? Nope! We were ever vigilant. Shut your mouth, or I'll shut it for you, and so it's shut.
I guess I was even luckier than I thought that they had managed to save me back then.
So anyway, once we were forced to show ourselves to you, it was clear that something wasn't right. At all. And that was only even more obvious when Yuzuki assaulted us, wielding a power unlike anything we'd seen before. We've been looking into it when we have the free time, which is rarely ever when tasked with having to watch after you.
Well, excuse me for existing.
You're excused. And it quickly became apparent that things weren't going to solve themselves. Once we learned that the seal in place has been slowly weakening, we need to reinforce her prison. Strengthen it so that her influence can't affect the outside world anymore. Only, if it were that easy, we could have done it ourselves without bothering you.
Sayaka pulls a complicated expression. I don't think I'm gonna like what she has to say next.
Kenta, we need your help.
Me? How the hell am I supposed to help?
That's
you
what
guys
I
are
wanna
the ones
know.
with all the fancy powers.
That's what I want to know. It's not exactly ideal that we have to rely on you, I know, but we have no choice. And we're out of time to search for alternative means. Basically, since the seal was created by someone in your bloodline and linked directly to them, it can only be strengthened by someone bearing the same blood. I mean, technically we could break the seal, and that's the seal that's there, and trap her in a new one. But I don't think we last long enough to do that.
So, in other words, I'm really the only solution here. I'm not sure how to take this. I don't know the first thing about this magic business, though. Am I even capable of doing such a thing? Sayaka takes a moment to ponder things, a finger held to her chin as her eyes run over me.
Do you remember the night when Hikari was having fun with that tentacle shadow? I was not having fun!
I guess so, but what does that have to do with anything?
You used Hikari's sword, didn't you?
Yeah, but I don't...
Kenta, you must have noticed yourself how light that sword was, despite its size, right? It's a blade infused with magic that connects the wielder to deal swift and powerful blows with ease. So infused, in fact, that if someone not capable of controlling that amount of magic were to attempt to wield it, they'd go boom. It's like Mjolnir on steroids.
I still don't know what that is, Sayaka. I didn't pay attention to
Oh
Earth
my
Science
god!
class.
You don't read Marvel? Thor? Gah! How are you supposed to be a nerd?
Who is Marvel Thor?
Oh my...
Is that some sort of new drink down at the cafe? Can we try it after we're done here?
Oh, so much secondhand embarrassment.
But, okay, getting back on track. So someone would just explode when they wielded the sword.
Well, maybe not explode, but at the very least, it would bring about a messy end. It would give you. And given that you're still standing after swinging that thing around, it's safe to say you have the potential in you.
Yeah, I can't believe there was a possibility of exploding from picking up her sword. What I did back then was even more reckless than I realized.
But
I
it's
should just stay in the
okay
bedroom and
now.
keep the curtains drawn.
So if you can handle that sword, I think a little sealing magic should be no problem. But then it also means we have to go to where she's sealed, taking along the one thing she's been seeking for all these years. It'll be reckless. And one mistake will mean that we could put the world in danger.
No pressure then, huh? I try my best to keep things lighthearted and force out an awkward laugh, but it's difficult after hearing all of this. To think that somehow I'm both the key to unlocking this woman from her prison and the only thing that can put her away for good.
Tomorrow is our last chance to stop this before it spirals out of control. I think you're gonna have to skip a day of school, Kenta.
I wonder if out saving the world is a valid enough excuse to miss a day of school.
That is, if you choose to help us. I'll understand if you don't feel up to it. Maybe we can find another way.
But there isn't another way, is there? That's the whole reason you're telling me all this. I heave out a sigh and give my guardians a look over. They've done so much for me in this past week. And even more that I realized behind the scenes. If anything, I owe them this. I swallow hard. I can feel my hands begin to tremble. I might die if I go with them. But then, if we leave it, things will only get worse, so... I guess I have no choice here, do I? I'll help with this sealing business, if you think I can manage it.
You will?
Sayaka looks ecstatic as she claps her hands together. Was she not expecting me to help? Hikari looks equally surprised. Jeez, a little faith goes a long way, guys. It's the least I can do after you guys have been risking your lives for me every day. If I finally have a way to help, then I'm not going to waste that chance.
Kenta. You know, you almost sounded cool there. Almost. Nerd. I think we need to work on your heroic dialogue. But that'll have to come later. We have lots to cover if you're going to seal away this Dark Queen, so pay attention.
And just when I thought the night couldn't get any longer, yet another lecture begins. I'm sure it wasn't easy for the pair of them to teach someone like me the basics of magic, someone who only barely was aware of its existence at all. I'm not even sure if I've got the steps down, but after hours of practicing, they've assured me that I've got it down. I won't be able to tell for sure.
You got the touch.
I won't be able to tell for sure until the real thing. And she messed up my transition because the real thing will happen in 24 hours. God damn it, I was trying to make that all smooth.
But I made you laugh.
Oh god, and that's it for tonight's session because I'm about to pass out. So even we are going to have to wait a while before we discover what's next for Kenta and the ladies. But for you guys, it'll only be 24 hours. For you guys, it'll even be quicker than it is for us. So thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you tomorrow for another episode.